please take the survey. So this survey is for me to use during this webinar. And the structure of the webinar is based around the survey. So here we have the responses. We have 18. And I see that we have a lot of people who only use AI once in a while. The majority of the audience is once in a while, and we've got a few never. And on the opposite end, we have some few times per week, and we have a few constantly. So for this webinar, because most people are less experienced, I'll make sure that I include the information for less experienced people, more of the beginner information, which is fortunately my specialty. Now, do we have paid subscriptions to the following? This is important because when you have a subscription to one of these, you're sort of already in one of the ecosystems. That's important for me to know for like demonstrating what you can do, and that's very helpful. Last, this part down here. What do you want to hear about? How to use ChatGPT and how to use the best tools. Excellent. I like these topics. Management strategies for integrating AI in the workspace. Great. The most popular ones are the ones that I like the most as well. So the format of this talk, I'll come back and check the survey results again later just to see if they've changed. I have a slide deck that goes through how AI is being used in travel, just sort of a general overview. Also, we're going to talk about 3 case studies of the way companies have integrated AI into their travel companies, both to increase productivity, to save money by doing more with AI, getting work done with AI, or to improve their services, improve customer retention, improve revenue, things like that. Following that part of the presentation, I did not prepare anything else. Oh, sorry, I do have one thing. During this presentation, I am going to do a demonstration of using AI to plan a comprehensive travel itinerary. And I will spend a total of about 2 minutes. And at the end, I'm going to have a website that has a personalized travel itinerary. So, and then the last part is I'm going to talk about the things that you vote for in the survey. And I'm going to focus on explaining those particular concepts. If we're talking about how to use ChatGPT, I'll just open it up and I will demonstrate it for you. So that's the structure of today's presentation. Now, there we go. To introduce, let's go back here, introduce me. I'm Matt Gibson. I'm the founder of Upthink. Now, Raneep, not for any fault of his own, he had the older company description that it's still on a lot of the websites. It's on the PATA website still. We've actually rebranded recently. We were a digital marketing agency. We always focused on sort of leading edge technologies for travel. So that would be SEO, early influencer marketing work, things like that. We worked on some great projects. Following right after COVID, when ChatGPT just came out, I went to a lot of events. You may have seen me speaking about digital marketing, influencer marketing, things like that. All of those people called me and asked me to explain ChatGPT to them and what is AI. So instead of being asked to come speak about those old things, everyone was asking me to come speak about AI for them. And we quickly realized that this is where the future is going. We were a content agency, and AI was a threat to this agency. So I went all in learning about AI, which is fortunate because it's highly related to SEO, which we were very good at. So I have written a book called The AI-Powered Office. It is free, and we're just in the final stages. It's not quite out yet. It'll be out in a few weeks. And I've had 15 years at the front of digital technology and travel, worked with a lot of great clients, spoken at a lot of great events. We have just rebranded with our AI services. So we are now focused on offering training, consulting, and automation. A lot of this still relates to content and SEO because AI plays a big part in those areas, but it's a very general helping people learn how to use AI to improve their businesses. And that can be teaching people one-on-one. I have done many, many training seminars teaching people how to use AI tools like I'm going to do with you today. We also offer consulting services, teaching businesses how to best integrate AI, which I will talk about later, and about how they can automate processes with AI and kind of the roadmap for that, which I will also bring up, mention a little bit. The book that I have written is specifically for beginners. Are we still mostly beginners here? Oh, less proportion of beginners now. So for people who are beginner and intermediate, this is a free book. There's a sign up form on our website here, upthinkisgood.com book. It's a simple guide to understanding AI. So almost everything I'm going to talk about today is in this book, but the book explains it in a lot more depth, how to choose the right tools. It has a curated list of tools that are very good at what they do because there's way too many tools out there to choose from. We've found all of the best for different use cases. We have a list of use cases if you're not sure how to use it. Like it's just a list of here, you can do this, this, and here's a tool that you would use to do this thing. And we have an AI integration roadmap for businesses that shows how you go from zero use of AI to integrating AI to automating your processes with AI. So that's free. You can go and well, you can't download it yet. It's not out yet. You can sign up to receive the email where you will get the free book when it comes out. All right, so custom travel itinerary research. I am going to show you a little bit of AI use, and I would like to get you guys involved in this. Now, how do I get the chat up here? Dun, dun, dun. I would like to see the chat if possible. Uh-oh. Okay, I can't see the chat, so somebody else is going to have to. There we go, chat.
Matt, there is
There we go.
you can
I
click
got
on the
it.
chat below.
I've got it. Here we go. All right. Good stuff. All right, folks. So right in about an hour ago, I had a little bit of extra time, and I was thinking about how I was going to show you this stuff. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to test out. I don't make travel itineraries, but I thought, oh, I can come up with a two-step process that'll make a travel itinerary. And I did that. So I went to a deep research tool, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with a deep research tool. Most chatbots have a deep research option. So if you go into a deep research into any of your chat tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, they all should have this. You have an option to type a prompt and request deep research down here. Okay. I wrote a prompt that I'm going to give you guys. I will have a document with all the resources from this chat from this webinar that you will be able to use. I wrote a prompt. This is a sort of a structured prompt format that I like to use. It's the standard recommended format. Okay. And I said, give me an itinerary for a traveler named Mike. He's French, he's 36 years old. Here's the things he likes. He likes steak, he likes wine, he likes tourist traps, he likes offbeat activities and music, that sort of thing. He's going to Bangkok 7 days, 6 nights. All right. I define the output, I tell it what I want in the output, and I put it into a couple different research tools. Now, this one is Gemini. This is what Gemini produced for me, which is a very, very comprehensive research tool. I asked it to give me links to information about everything it suggests, which is very helpful. But there's one more step to this. Like, this is neat. It's a lot of text. I don't want to read it particularly. If I'm trying to make an itinerary for somebody, this is good, but it's not that useful, right? Now, I don't really care for this output. I tried a different tool with the same prompt. Come back here. There we go. Okay. All right. I tried the Perplexity deep research. okay? Now, Perplexity Deep Research came up with a more usable structure of an itinerary that I like more. So with this one, I thought there's two options for making this into a really nice itinerary. Now, Perplexity itself has a tool that's called Labs, and Labs can make a website or a web dashboard to display your data. So I asked it to do that, and it created this dashboard. Here, let me just grab the link. Okay, so in Perplexity, after it generated that, I just did one more step and I followed it up and I said, make me a dashboard that shows this with cards that display all of the information for each day. So here we have day one, dining at the Arthur restaurant with a visit website. And let me just throw the link into the chat for you guys so that you can also see this. Where did my chat go? There we go. There we go. There's a link in the chat. Oh, sorry, guys. I made a mistake. The link on the book, we just relaunched the website, and there's something wrong with the link on the book page. So if you go to if you just go to the homepage, at the bottom of the homepage is a sign-up form, and the sign-up form is working properly. Sorry about that. We just launched it yesterday to get it ready for this webinar. So you can sign up on the homepage. So the link is here if you want to click it to see this lab yourself. It has cards that link to each of the different activities, the different restaurants that it recommended. This fellow, he's a fan of steak, so it's recommending steakhouses, some local food, and a winery because he's a fan of wine. And it's made this. So if people are looking to plan trips, this might not be perfect for the guy, right? And you might be, say, designing a trip for a client. What this research does is it comes up with a bunch of ideas that are ready to go for you. And then you can adjust them within the chat with the deep research, ask it to replace things. And once you've got the itinerary the way you want it for the person, you can put it into a tool like Perplexity Labs and ask it to create a dashboard that you can send to the client. Or there is also, I'll just try and move this bar. There we go. I'll share a link to this too. There's a site called Gamma. I used it to make my presentation. It makes slides, it makes websites. I just took that itinerary, I copy pasted it into Gamma, and I said, make me a website. And it made this website for the same itinerary. So we can generate really quickly very just wildly different types of content that are easily accessible for our clients or for ourselves for internal communications really fast. This took me less than 15 minutes to do, okay? It's not amazing, but it's also only 15 minutes. So here is a link if you would like to see the Gamma website that was made with the same prompts. So it can give an itinerary with pictures. Yes, that's absolutely possible. This was just a single prompt. So it depends on what you ask it for. You just have to ask it for the things that you want. Sometimes it might not get everything exactly right, and you try again. So I would like to know if you guys, let's do an itinerary while I'm doing the talk. So can anyone give me an idea for a traveler? Give me a name, give me a nationality, give me an age. Let's see what we can come up with. In the chat, please. Anyone have suggestions? Oh, come on, folks. Okay, well, then we're going to go with Raneep.
All right, go ahead.
All right, and There we go. Anton, 43 German. Yeah, give me. Is this your client? All right. Anton, 43 German. What is Anton like, everybody? Anton is German. Oh, we've already got one, I'm afraid. Anton, so he's German, likes wildlife photography. Okay. All right. I'm going to say he likes beer because he's from Germany. He likes beer. He likes sausage. And what else? What else might he like? He likes schnitzel, obviously. And he likes to travel to Rajasthan. Okay, we're going to say he's going to Rajasthan, right? Okay, so here is the prompt now. The prompt is made so that I can just input the information about the client and the rest of the prompt is ready. Now I'm just gonna touch it up and say, all right, preferences, all right, trip duration, trip type. I'm just gonna add this because we want him to go on a photography trip. So he wants to go on a trip type, nature photography tour. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go put this into our deep research. Sorry, the recording is messing with my browser a touch. I'm, oh boy, this might be tough, I'm afraid. The recording of the webinar is just slowing down my computer a bit. It's making it a little hard to do this. Okay, so I'm just going to use Perplexity and I am going to use labs. I'm going to ask it to go do this research. So while it does that, let's continue with the presentation, which is the nice thing about AI. You can just ask it to go start work. And, deep research can take 5 to 20 minutes, something like that. So you just go off and do some work while you wait for it to finish. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about how AI is changing the travel and hospitality industry. So AI in travel is growing. Now, I use deep research to help me find a bunch of data and reports about how AI is changing travel. I skimmed them yesterday. I found some really interesting stuff actually that I'd like to share if there's time at the end. But the research that's been done is finding that AI in travel is growing a lot. The market is growing by 2030, growing to 13.4 billion from 3 billion in 2024. It's already very large. It's growing fast, which is, I think, probably not a surprise to anybody. Okay. Now, it's growing because a lot of people are adopting it. There are kind of two different ways that AI is useful, like two broad categories. One category is that AI enables us to deliver services that we never could deliver in the past, or it enables us to deliver service better than we were able to in the past, right? Or it helps us do a job that we're already doing more efficiently and faster. Okay, so there's kind of like, on one hand, in a lot of cases, AI is going to save us time and help us do things faster. And in the other category, it helps us do things better than we were able to do in the past, or in some cases, even helps us do new things that were not possible before AI. So in this case, we're going to look at Expedia. Now they were very early with this. They implemented chatbots for booking assistance on their app. I remember when they did this, it was really exciting. I went and tried it right away. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of what you expect. It's like talking to ChatGPT about travel. Now, one of the things, though, that an implementation like this does, and this is possible for companies that are smaller than you think. Now, anyone can build a chatbot that their customers can talk to, right? Now, that's an expense. It can save money in terms of customer support. One reason this is actually very, very useful is I see a lot of reports from people across industries who are in sales or they're focused on sales through their digital channels. And they get inquiries and they find that they don't respond to an inquiry for an hour, 2 hours a day. They're much more likely to lose that business. They're very likely that the person's not going to respond because it took a few hours or it took a day to respond to them. When they implemented an AI response that was immediate and automated, they started keeping those leads, and those leads conversions, those lead retention and the lead conversion went up. And this is a very common story just across all industries. Instant replies to inquiries, engage the customer right away, and they hold on to them, and you lose a lot less of those warm leads. You keep a lot more of them. It's really useful for that. Now, that doesn't have to be a chatbot. That can be an email. That can be whatever. But that's been a very useful use case, and it's very similar to the way Expedia is using the chatbot. The other thing that's very useful about a chatbot is if you get your customer talking to your chatbot about what they want to do on their trip or what they're thinking about doing. Chatbots are excellent at extracting information from a conversation and putting it away for you. If somebody has a customer profile and they come to talk to you about a photography trip to Rajasthan or a food tour in Delhi, whatever it is, if that's connected to their profile, you now have this information about what they want that you did not have before. You have the ability to reach out to them with deals now. You just have a lot more, there's an ability to gain a lot more insight into the consumer if you have them engaging with AI in some way. This is really, really helpful. This is, of course, also what drives a lot of the personalization that people are talking about. So, Airbnb. They are using AI-driven pricing technology, of course, as many people have been for many years. They're using AI to summarize reviews on their properties to help users just have a better experience, get a feeling for what the property reviews are without searching through a lot of them. It helps them to speed up property listings for their what are they called? Owners? I'm not even sure. The owners of the properties. They're rebuilding their internal search engine with Gen AI to help people, again, chat with their service, which provides a much richer data on what users want, okay? Already, Airbnb has seen a 20% increase in repeat bookings through AI guest experiences. So that's brought them 20% lift in repeat bookings. And one of my favorite things, they've seen a significant reduction in operational costs by using AI to make things more efficient or perhaps automate them internally. And the last case study, Booking.com. They created an AI trip planner. I actually, in the digital marketing days, have seen some amazing AI trip planners, even pre-ChatGPT. So it enables travelers, like you say, to engage in a natural language conversation about what they want and what they prefer. to find the things that they're looking for, which is a much nicer experience than scrolling through a big giant list of listings of tours or of hotels when you can just chat with something and tell it what you're looking for. This is great, again, for the rich data that it provides to the company. It's great for the user. It's a good user experience. It's instant, it's interactive, and it's engaging. And it helps to increase conversions for OTAs. Now, with this, they have found 41% of travelers to be interested in AI curated itineraries. It is very helpful that way. And I'd imagine it helps to increase their conversion. So this stuff, I don't have the study. I just found it actually before we come on, was by a consulting firm that was talking about how AI in the hands of travel agents is actually a very big threat to OTAs because the cost of developing experiences like this to deliver to clients is dropping rapidly. And travel agencies can compete with OTAs in this area by being in a niche, focusing on their customers' needs and offering these similar kind of search experiences that are chat-based. So I think there's a really good opportunity there for agencies to try and take back some of the power from the OTAs. Generative AI growth is led by North America, no big surprise. Generative AI in the travel market is calculated to be around 900 million in 2024, projected to reach 5 billion by 2034. Now, the key drivers of AI adoption. We are seeing across a lot of industries, of course, data automation, which is, I wouldn't even know if I'd call it quite a driver of AI adoption, but AI enables people to automate data. To use AI in your business relies on having automated data that you provide to the AI so the AI can produce an outcome for you, such as an itinerary. You have to have the data being fed into it to allow it to use it to create something, such as an itinerary, such as recommendations for a traveler. But also, AI enables us to automate the collection and organization of the data before you're feeding it back to the AI. So like I said, if you have a chatbot on your website and it's chatting to your customers about, just helping them plan a trip. You call it a free trip planner for your customers. You put the bot on WhatsApp. You just allow your customers, if you have their phone number, to chat with it to plan their trips. When it's chatting with them, it can know their profile by their phone number. If they're asking about a destination, it can extract that destination and put it in a database for you that says, hey, this person was talking about this destination. This person was talking about wildlife photography. They were talking about wine tours. It can pull out different categories of data and file that away for you so that your system, maybe your email marketing system, maybe your CRM, whatever system that happens to be, now has access to that data to say, email them, hey, you know what? We have food tours and photography tours in that destination you were talking about. We have a great deal on those right now. And they get that email tomorrow morning. Things like that are all possible. And the AI makes it possible by enabling the conversation, being able to extract the data from the conversation, and put it in systems that it can then turn around. You can give it to a different AI that writes an email to them that says, hey, maybe you would like to hear about this trip. Okay? So things like that. This data automation is getting very useful and personalized, which is very similar. I actually just described the personalized services piece as well. That's kind of how it works. It does enhance customer service because, well, personalization first enhances the experience because people are not now receiving emails about things they're not interested in. It also enables agent at a hotel to have a more rich understanding of the person when they see their profile on the computer. Same with a call agent or a chatbot. I mean, we get these much richer customer profiles that can be used to deliver a better experience in many, many, many ways. Also, AI enables us to have always on instant responses. You don't have to have a call center on 24-hour to give people an instant response now. You need one AI chatbot, and that's it. And you can give instant responses, which is a big improvement. And operational efficiency. This part's actually my favorite. Helping people in the company do work faster, automate the tasks that they hate, that are repetitive, that's always doing the same thing. It enables us to make operations so much more efficient. And we're going to see that happening so much over the next decade. We're just going to see companies needing to use less and less manpower on the things that don't matter, the paperwork, the filling out of forms, the repetitive tasks that you do by hand right now. A lot of that stuff is going to be taken away because if it's repetitive and it's monotonous and you're doing the same thing over and over, that's the kind of thing AI is perfect at learning how to do and taking it off of your plate. So I think we've all heard, I'm going to go through some of these a little fast because I think we've all heard people talk about them a lot by now. We hear a lot about the personalization that AI is going to enable, and it does. We've heard about companies that are creating personalized systems for hotels to like talk to their room, can have a chatbot that talks to a traveler. We've all heard about this stuff, and it's true. But my focus and what I think you'd probably like to hear more about is not that people are going to do it, is how do I do it, which I would like to speed through this to get to. Contextual recommendations. If you haven't used it, I'd like to see this in the chat actually. Please, in the chat, guys, who here has used real-time AI speaking translation? Has anyone here used that yet? Because we now have it. Has anyone here, please, in the chat, if you have, just say yes. Have, or like this question, have, even simpler, have you ever spoken to voice AI? Have you ever spoken to an AI just with your voice and had it speak back to you? Anybody else? We got one guy. It's impressive. It is absolutely impressive. Yeah, it's fantastic. So like, I think we all figured out how to use Google Translate a long time ago to talk to people who don't speak our language, and you just, type a thing and make it talk. In Thailand, I have a lot of friends. I live in a spot that's not a ton of foreigners around, and my Thai is terrible, terrible. So when I speak to people now, I will often take my phone out and I'll open up the voice AI and I will tell it, hey, be a translator for me and my Thai friend. And I put it down on the table. And I can just talk and it will translate instantly for me and speak the translation back. Then my friend speaks in Thai and it translates it back for me. We are living in the future. It's amazing. Translation is enabling better service, enabling travelers to go places that they couldn't go before. It was too difficult. Then it is. It's going to change travel greatly. So I'm seeing a few yeses in here. That's great. The voice AI is the next thing. Siri still sucks and Alexa still sucks, but Google's voice and ChatGPT's voice are just beautiful, like fantastic. You should try it if you haven't. So just going to check we're getting more people with experience in here. All right, excellent, good to know. All right. So we're seeing enhanced customer support. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard about this. Yeah, of course, everybody's heard about using, customer support chatbots and stuff. If you're interested in them, we build them. I feel like I don't have to explain this too much to anyone though, because we've heard about it. They are very helpful though. It's that speed of response, that instant responsiveness that wasn't available before. They can speak any language out of the box. You don't have to even do anything special. They just speak all the languages. And of course, what is very key to these is having what's called human in the loop. As soon as something gets too difficult for the chatbot to handle, or if the person who's speaking to the chatbot is expressing, frustration with the chatbot in any particular way, it's human in the loop. It shoots that thing over to a real person to deal with it as soon as it becomes apparent that the chatbot is not capable of handling it. And this is fantastic for customer support. Reduces the need for human engagement, increases the responsiveness across the board, works really well. We all know about dynamic pricing. This is not my specialty. It's a different type of AI than the one that I specialize in, but I think we all know that it's fantastic for maximizing revenue. For marketing, man, I can't tell you how good this stuff is for improving your marketing. It makes things possible that were never possible before. It enables you to create customer personas that you can talk to. I mean, it's really great. I just kind of, rather than telling you about it, I kind of just want to show you some of this stuff. So, and we're going to get to that very shortly. But it is in marketing, it enables your marketing to just improve vastly because you can create more content that is better content with tools and like the ability to get feedback that you've never had in the past. It just enables it to be so much better and across all of these different types. Like you can generate a podcast now, you can generate a video now so easily. So we have just many different ways that AI is impacting businesses across the travel sector. We have some challenges. This part, I think, is important. The initial high cost of AI adoption. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you the roadmap for adopting AI as an organization. The high initial cost is a perception that if I want to build something with AI, it's going to be super expensive. This is not necessarily true, especially following an organic AI adoption roadmap. Actually, it keeps the cost extremely low while it keeps the benefit maximally high. When we see giant companies like Expedia putting in a chatbot that's going to be used by 100,000 people, that is very expensive. But there are so many ways to do these things for a small and medium-sized business that is very cost effective and very reasonable, and you get that same sort of benefit from it at that smaller scale. So the high initial cost is perceived, and there is certainly a cost, but I don't think it's as high as most people expect it to be. Not with the right strategy, okay? We have outdated infrastructure can be an issue. Now, not in every way. If you want to, say, train your employees how to use AI to improve productivity like 30, 40, 50%, that is within everyone's reach. As long as you have good internet and a decent PC that will operate ChatGPT on a website, you're going to be able to speed up productivity quite a lot. If you want to build a chatbot that speaks to customers about your products, that relies on your infrastructure and the cleanliness of your data. And in those cases, that can be a challenge, but it really depends on your current setup. Bias and transparency. Yes, I guess some of us worry a little bit about those things. I think most people don't. Job displacement and upskilling. There's a lot of talk about how AI will eliminate jobs and a lot of thoughts about how it will go. Honestly, especially with the release of the new ChatGPT and how kind of little it progressed, there was a new ChatGPT model just released about 2 days ago. Like it will change the way we work and it will remove jobs from the workforce. The primary concern that most people have is it's going to happen really fast and a lot of people are going to have a problem. I don't think it's going to happen quite that fast. It'll be an adjustment, and there will be some times when it's hard for people, but the adjustment will be a bit slower than I think we get the feeling from, say, watching TV. And actually, I'd like to point out one thing when we're just talking about AI and the way it's progressing. You see a lot of headlines that are like, oh my God, AI is going to put the whole world out of work in 3 years because the CEO of this company said so. Or AI is dangerous and it could take over the world because this AI CEO said so. We see a lot of those headlines. They're terrible for understanding AI. Those headlines give such a warped perception of what's actually going on in the research and in reality. Those CEOs, when they say those things, even the scary ones, it's because they're fundraising. They're talking to those headlines are them trying to convince investors to invest. They are not talking about what's realistic. Okay. They're not lying completely. They're just exaggerating very far in one direction to get attention, to get free media coverage, and to get investors interested in their company. Don't take what they say that seriously. It's not great. We are moving towards better and better AI, and even maybe AGI or like a better than human AI. That stuff is sort of coming sometime. The speed with which it's coming that these guys are talking about and the effects and then saying, oh, it's going to put the whole world out of work in 3 years. They're just trying to get investors. Don't pay that much attention to them. There are a lot of better sources of information about how it's really progressing. And although there's going to be some tough times for sure, and it's going to not be super slow, it's going to be slower than you're hearing in the news. So I just, when I talk about this, these things are real. I don't think they're quite as scary as we hear about on the news or when you hear Sam Altman talking about ChatGPT. So that's why I stress that so much. So in travel, we're going to see increases in personalization. We are going to see different sort of technologies integrated into the travel experience and the travel sales experience. We're going to be using a lot more predictive analytics because we're going to have richer customer data with which to predict things that they want and broader trends. And we're going to see autonomous systems, yeah, not in the near future, but in a little more distant future. You'll see autonomous agents being able to deliver services. So let's just skip through some of this stuff because it is a little bit, I think we've heard about it and I've talked about this stuff quite a bit. I'd like to get to the useful things for you. Got a few questions in here. Good questions. We will get to those at the end. Absolutely. All right. So this is the end of the me just talking about the AI industry portion. But this is the most important slide, I think, in this part of the presentation, okay? This is the AI adoption roadmap. It's not complicated. This is how a person who is one of these guys who says, I use AI once in a while and I own a business. How do I integrate AI into my business and stay up to date? That's who this is for. It's for small and medium-sized businesses that don't have a big budget, that want to use AI in a cost-effective way. So the first thing you do if you want to use AI in your business is you tell your employees it's okay. I don't know. Does anyone, just let me know in the chat. Does anybody work at a business where they tell you not to use AI? Or whether they discourage the use of AI? I know that was a thing about a year ago. I don't know if it really still is now. But you want to first encourage your employees to use these tools and learn how to use them. It's going to benefit you because it's going to increase their productivity. It's also going to improve their ability to do quality work in ways that they were unable to do it in the past. Okay? I recommend you, if you have the budget, even the small budget for it, provide them with the tools, the paid tools, okay? So in the simplest case, I'll show you a lot of tools that are very useful for different uses. Broadly useful is getting like a business subscription to ChatGPT for $20 per user. Okay, that's sort of the one that most people will understand and will think of first. And the reason, or if you have Microsoft Office for everybody, or Microsoft 365, they all have Copilot. Okay, if you have um, Google Workspace, everyone has access to Gemini Pro version. Fantastic. That's the first thing you want. Make sure that they know that they have it. Okay. Step two, if you have like a Google Workspace, which I have, I know Pata has it. You've got Gemini Pro and you have a bunch of cool tools. You have Notebook LM. Then you want to educate your employees how to use them. This is a productivity tool for your employees. If you've got Google Workspace, you got Microsoft 365, you're already paying for it. So now you want them to maximize the use of it. Get them to teach them how to use it, or get someone, such as myself, I don't know, to teach them how to use it effectively at work. And the reason why is first, you're going to get the benefit for in productivity. They're going to get better at their jobs. But the real key to this, the really fantastic part is your employees have all of these tasks that waste their time, that they hate, that are monotonous. I'm moving this information from this spreadsheet to this document, whatever that is. They are going to figure out how to use AI to make it better because they hate it. They don't want to do their job. Their laziness is going to get them to figure out how to use the AI to do it in the best possible way over time. They're going to get better and better at it. They're going to figure out exactly what information I put into the AI to get out the thing that I want at the end for these boring tasks. Okay. You're going to encourage your employees to share that knowledge with each other. Somebody's going to figure out the trick for this particular task. You want them to be able to share it with everybody else who does that task, right? You want to encourage that. It's going to make it so much easier for everyone. But then at step four, once you've got everyone using AI, they've figured out how to do a bunch of the tasks with it. They've shared the information. It's made it easier. You now have a knowledge base that your employees have created. You have this institutional knowledge about which tasks need a specific input to the AI to get a specific output. And you need this on a regular basis. The employees created that process. That now is an opportunity to automate that task away because you know what the input is. The employee has like a document where they just copy paste the thing that they need to get the thing that they want out. You just automate the way that information gets into the AI and automate where it goes when it comes out, which is a very actually not that hard of a process. There's no code tools that are made for this. Then you have automated away a task that used to take people a whole bunch of time. Okay. And this process, letting employees find the tasks that AI does well, automate it away, automate it away, automate it away. Okay. Of course, this is a long process. This is a slow process. But your investment in this is just giving them a subscription to an AI service, educating them about how to use it, and encouraging them to share among the organization. And naturally, these opportunities for automation will arise out of that. Okay. Your investment is almost nothing. Your investment is giving them AI and telling them to save as much time as they can when they're working with it. You're saving their time, you're reducing the burden on the employees, you're creating efficiencies, and then you're automating later. Okay. And that's it. I mean, and then what you're doing is you're just making your business efficient until the employees are only doing the things that they absolutely can only be done by a human. That's the AI adoption process. And the investment is so minimal. It would be silly not to do it, honestly. And this is something I'm very committed to doing. This is why I've written this book. This is why we're building courses to help teach people how they can use AI effectively at work. Because this is the future. And businesses that don't do this that are relying on humans are just going to end up slowly, the people who do this are just going to get faster. They're going to get more efficient. They're going to deliver better services more quickly. And slowly, those are the people who are going to win in the marketplace. And the people who don't do it are slowly going to fade away. It's not going to be like this fast process that happens next year. It'll happen over decades and stuff, but it is the process that's going to happen. So it's best to be involved in it and started now. It's not that complicated. So, and that's why I feel like this is really the most important the most important slide that I can share. So let's go back to see what Perplexity did with my custom travel itinerary for, what was that guy's name? Anton from Germany. Let's go see what we came up with here. Oh, wrong tab. Maybe it was this over here. Is this it? No, that's Bangkok. Where did I put that? Oh boy, sorry, this recording is just making my computer so slow, the Zoom call. Where was the tab in which I did that request? Here we go. Here we go. The itinerary for Rajasthan. So we can see that Perplexity did some research about this. Now, again, I want to reiterate, every major AI tool, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, they all offer a deep research tool. Okay, so this is not specific to Perplexity. It's just the example I used. Okay, so it has got, if you want to check, it has researched 96 sources to come up with this. And this is where AI enables us to do work that was not really possible before. I can share with you the research I did for that first slide presentation. I did it yesterday. I ran 3 different deep research. I ran one with ChatGPT, one with Gemini, one with Perplexity. I ran them all simultaneously, so the whole thing took 20 minutes. And then I put them all together in an AI tool and asked it to pull out the summary of all the best points about what the best case studies are for AI integrations in travel, what the trends are, what the predictions are. And it pulled all that stuff out from like 300 sources. I could never do that much research by myself, just never, right? It enables us to do things that were not necessarily possible before. So 96 sources were looked at in the creation of this itinerary. Not included in it, I'm sure, but looked at. So they came up with this nice itinerary recommendation, but it's not in the format that I would like. So I just add one more prompt here. Dun, dun, dun. Can I copy this text? Thank you. So this was the prompt I used before for Mike's tour. And I'm just going to ask it, hey, can you please make this itinerary with a card for each day displaying the images of each dining option and activity recommendation. And now Labs is, this Perplexity Labs does deep research, but it's also a coder. So it likes to build data dashboards. Financial analysts like to use it a lot. It can create dashboards of the data that they're looking for. We're asking it to build a dashboard display of Mike's itinerary. So it's going to take about 10 minutes to create that. So let's give it a few minutes and go back to some of your questions and some of the other topics that you guys are interested in. Okay. So first, let's see Raneep, I'm going to go through the questions here, but I can keep going if people want to stay on for a bit longer, for about another 30 minutes I have, if you guys are interested in that. Does that sound good for you guys? I'm not sure if people will need to go or if they'd like to stick around.
Yeah, I think
But
those who are interested will stick around.
well, we got 65 still. What was the top number of people, the
I
most
thought
that
I
we
saw
had in
about
here?
75, which
Okay,
is
cool. Yeah.
pretty
Well,
good.
if people start leaving, I'll just stop.
So,
But otherwise, yeah, I can do another about 30 minutes. So I'm going to open up the chat for the questions. And after the questions, I will go into a few of the other things I wanted to talk about if there is time. So
all right,
chat, let's
good.
go
So
chat
let's go with the
box.
questions. I think you have some up there.
Yeah, I'm having a problem getting the chat open here. Chat. Come on, chat.
Reneep, why don't you read the questions out and then
I am
Yeah,
going to
can you? I'm not sure why the chat won't open
I'm
for
going
me.
to do that.
Oh,
So
here we go. Let's try this.
my question was, does AI help you build a data bank of customer preferences and past experiences? So Matt Gibson
Yes.
is my customer. Can I, and so is Sanjeev. So can I build a data bank so next time I have a new product, I can run it past that data bank and see if any of them are interested?
Yes, of course you can. Yes, absolutely. But I mean, the real question is, like, it will absolutely help you do that. There are many ways that you can go about it, um, but it's absolutely possible. So the options are you just need a source of the customer data. So if you're looking only at data that you have, not say buying it from somebody on, a data broker or something, you have two options. You can try to collect it from them actively, such as through a chatbot, right? Or you can use the data that exists within your system, which would probably be a whole bunch of emails, maybe chats in WhatsApp. If you take either one of those things, you took all of the emails that went to X address from that are to or from this person's email address. You can take all those out and yes, dump them into AI and ask it to pull out all of their travel preferences. It's called sentiment analysis. It's great at this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It's like when it writes a summary of reviews, right? It'll read 10,000 reviews on a TripAdvisor website, and at the top, it'll write a summary. It will read 10,000 emails from your client, and it will say, here's what the client likes. Here's the places the client did like. Here's the things they didn't like that they complained about. Yeah, you can pull that out and put it into a database. Absolutely no problem. Same if you have a chatbot that the customers are going to chat with for customer service. That chatbot can be just specifically programmed that when there's a certain type of response, um, it will take the information from that response, only the relevant things, such as a destination. Destination the person has expressed a positive feeling about goes into one column. Destination the person has expressed a negative feeling about goes into a different column. Like it can pull out anything like that. The types of foods that a person has expressed strongly like, sort of like, dislike. All those things could be pulled out of a conversation quite easily by AI. Will it be 100% accurate? Probably not. Will it be close enough to be very useful? Yeah, very useful. So yeah, that's absolutely possible. It's just a matter of, a system that has to be created. That is the upfront cost.
Hmm. Uh, so you talked about Translator, which seems to be a very good tool, I think, to use when you meet customers at tourism fairs who have language barriers, particularly some of
Yeah,
them coming from Asia, etc. So how do you access the translator? Because I have actually seen this happen at some Pata events where the Chinese, I think, brought along their translator and they were speaking to a person who was talking in English and they could
mhm.
understand what he was saying.
Sure. Let me change this so that I have my I'm gonna show you right now here on the chat if I can just change my output to my computer speakers so my phone can hear you. Dun, 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 dun. Select a speaker. Okay. You guys might get a little echo for a minute because if Raneep talks to me, he'll hear, it'll come out of my speakers. Let's see if this is gonna work. Raneep, can you say something, please?
Yes, would you like to go to Ranthambore?
Okay, so there you go. Okay, sorry, it's coming out of my speakers, so my phone can hear you. So I'm gonna open up. This is the Google Gemini. Sure if you can see that. Okay, so it's the Google Gemini app. You can do this if you have ChatGPT Pro version. Here's Google Gemini. I am going to. This is the talk to me button right here, the speak to me. So I'm going to tell it, you speak another language, yes?
Ranthambore jayega.
Okay. I am just going to tell it, check this out. Turn the volume all the way up, so I hope you can hear it. Hi, I am traveling and I'm talking to an Indian man. I need him to help me find out where I'm going. Can you please translate whatever he says back to me and translate my English back to him?
Of course. Please feel free to speak in English, and I will translate it into Hindi for you.
Will you go to Ranthambore?
क्या आप रणथंभौर जाएंगे?
Perfect. Perfect. So it's a great tool to have at a fair particularly when you're going to not necessarily English-speaking countries, and there are many around the world, particularly in Asia, some in Europe, etc. So and I think people are more comfortable when they can converse in their own language with you, and you can understand what they're saying in a common denominator language. So
yeah, the language abilities are surprisingly good, really surprisingly good. It's a little awkward when you're handing the phone back and forth for people to like keep using it, but if you're sitting at a table, you can put it on the table and just sort of lean down and speak into it, and it'll just
right.
say whatever you said in the other language. The other person can respond. Works fantastic. I use it with friends who I could never really converse with before. They're like people in my neighborhood. We can sit down and talk now because of this. It's really fantastic.
Right. Okay, so the next question is from Sanjeet. He says, which is the best AI tool to use? How much can we trust ChatGPT? And can AI find reliable partners in different countries?
Okay, good questions. First, the best AI, if you're talking about you're choosing ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever, Claude, they're all great. Honestly, you'll hear a news report that like, oh, this one came out and it's a little better at doing this thing. This one came out, it's a little bit better at doing that thing. The truth is, though, and this is what I teach always in my courses, the best one is the one that you have access to. So if you have a subscription to one, great. They're all like, for most of the stuff we are going to do day to day, especially if you're not like super technical, trying to like get the most last little bit that you can get out of it, they're all basically the same for you in that case. But each one has its own personality. Giving it instructions, you learn how to like give it the right instructions. Giving instructions to Gemini and ChatGPT can be a little bit different when you're trying to get a specific thing back from it. Okay. So the best AI is the one you have a subscription for a premium account and the one that you know how to use, which should usually be the same one. Whichever one that is, learn that one, get great at it, because they're all fantastic. They're all doing about the same stuff. And if you're not like trying to do Olympiad math or like biochemistry or something, it doesn't matter what they're performing on the benchmarks. For your case, they're all doing very well. Learn to use one, get to know it well. And now they all have the ability to create templates inside. In ChatGPT, they're called a custom GPT. In Google Gemini, they're called gems. So when you start using one, you'll start making templates inside of it, and you'll want to use it more because those templates are saving you time. right? You make a template that does a specific task very well, you're going to go back to it. Learn one, use one, get in that ecosystem, start making templates. That's the best one for you by far. Okay. How much can we trust ChatGPT? Sanjeet, can you clarify what way you mean trust? Like, how much can we trust the CEO, Sam Altman? Zero. You can trust him very zero as a person. He's a terrible person. How much can you trust ChatGPT to not steal your data? 100%. You can trust it to not steal your data because its economic incentive is to have user trust. So depending on your perspective of it, like I don't care much for Sam Altman, but as far as it goes with data security, if you're willing to put something into Google Docs or Google Cloud, you're willing to put it into Microsoft's, their OneDrive or whatever Microsoft documents. If you're willing to put information there, I'm generally willing to put it into AI. These companies are their bread and butter. All of them, like most of their revenue is coming from enterprise clients that have data security needs, right? And they have a special contract that says you're never going to touch our data. But they have a contract with every subscriber that says they're not going to look at your data. Okay. Now that can be turned off. You can turn it off in the settings, but that is by default. If they break that trust once and it's in the news, all those enterprise customers are going to the other guy because the other guy is just as good, right? They cannot violate that, not because they're good people, because it would destroy their business. So you can trust them. Sorry, yes, Sanjeev.
Sorry, what I meant was last time you had said when ChatGPT gets you information, don't trust that because sometimes it can get
Oh
information.
yeah.
I mean it that way. Sorry.
Sorry, and yeah, sorry, good point because the trust question has so many different angles to it. For those of you, especially who are new to AI can hallucinate, which means it's trying to give you a really good answer to your question. That's kind of what it's programmed for. But it's trying so hard to do that sometimes if it doesn't know the answer, it will make up something that sounds like a good answer, right? The hallucination rates, there are studies on this. There's a company that constantly studies it. Every time a new model comes out, they rate it. The best models, I choose my models based on hallucination rates. The lowest hallucination rates are found in the Google models. Okay, they're the best at avoiding them. So all data any information that you get out of a chatbot, even if it went and searched the web for the information, if it's not important, you're going to get a 3% hallucination rate. 3% of stuff could be like inaccurate. In some cases, that doesn't matter. You don't really care that much if there's a little bit of inaccuracy because you're just trying to get a general research idea on a topic. That's fine. If a piece of information is key, like if it's mission critical information and you got it from AI, you fact check it. That's your job. Okay. I say treat AI. I always say this is sort of a general rule. Treat AI like the new intern, first day on the job intern. Okay. It'll help you. It'll do anything you ask it for. It's eager, like it's excited to help you. It's happy to help you. But also, it doesn't know anything about your business. It can mess up. It can absolutely make mistakes. You have to keep an eye on it. Like you can make it work like an intern. You can give it all of the work that you want to, but you got to keep an eye on it just like it's an intern. And that's not changing anytime soon. It's hallucination is not a problem that's necessary. They're not even sure if it's a solvable problem. It might always be there. So you can minimize it with good instructions. You can use specially tuned AIs to minimize it. There's ways to do that, but you can't get rid of it. You got to if something is critical, you can't trust it. Verify it. Always verify it. So, and the last one, can AI find reliable partners in different countries? You mean looking for business partners, like researching vendors or providers, something like that? Is that the question, Sanjeet? Oh, absolutely. That deep research is made for that.
I also
Yeah.
need to be careful that if I'm finding a partner whom I'm to deal with in future, I hope he's reliable. It could be somebody in Mexico or somebody in South America, but can it tell me that this is a reliable and a good company to deal with?
Well, it can tell you, it can research that answer better than you can. That's what it can do. I can't like, there's no yes, it can or no, it can't. But what it can do is it can enable you to collect a lot more information about the answer to that question. So that deep research that I showed you. Okay, if you're looking for vendors for a specific thing in Mexico, you can use that deep research. If you give it a query that sort of specifies, I want information on the the reliability and trustworthiness of different vendors in this vertical in Mexico based on public reviews on wherever people review that. I don't know where people review this stuff. But if there are places that people review it, instead of you reading a whole like 2,000 reviews on a site about a vendor because it's on Alibaba, I don't know, whatever marketplace, you can get AI to look at 4 marketplaces that have 10,000 reviews each and summarize that for you, right? So you can make a better decision about that. If the data is out there and available, the AI can help you find it and it can help you parse it into something useful. It can help you do that.
So what you're saying, a travel agent can find another DMC in another country, and through AI, and it would be reliable. That was what I was hitting at.
Well, it depends on the process that you use, right? It could do a terrible job and it can do a good job. It depends on how you use it. It's just a tool, right? But if you just ask it who's a reliable vendor in Mexico, I am not going to vouch for that answer. If you give it a task and you tell it, like, I don't know, are there DMO review boards online, like TripAdvisor for reviewing a DMO? Does that exist for business B2B? No, it doesn't. I mean, if those reviews, if the information exists out there, you can use it to collect that information using these research tools. If that information doesn't exist, the AI, it's not magic. It can't just tell you an answer well, it will tell you an answer. It'll hallucinate one if you make it. But if the data is there, it can help you find it and it can help you understand it. But if the data is not there, the data is just not there.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you want to
All
talk
right.
about if that's a real issue for you guys, like just drop me a line and I'll hop on a call with you one day and help show you how to do it. I love doing this stuff. It's really fun for me. Really enjoy it. Next.
The next question is, would like to know how updated is the content in the itineraries designed by AI?
All right, well, let's take a look at
Good
that.
question.
So let's see what we've come up with here. Dun, dun, dun. Did it make it did? So let's see how do I see this full screen? Can I share this with you guys in the chat? Is there like a share button? There you go, share button. Here, I'll give you guys a link if you want to see. So this is a question that you can answer as well as I can answer by checking the sources because like I can't tell you exactly the quality of this particular one. Here's a link to it in the chat. But we have to treat AI like we treat an intern. If this is important, you got to go through the sources and take a look. So I can click these links. I can see the source where it got the information from, right? This one, it did not do as nice of a job of design for this trip as it did for Mike's trip. Should probably ask it to do it again. I'm going to ask it to do this again. Don't like that design. Where's this? Move this. There we go. How do I get out of here? All right. All right. I'm just going to tell it to please update the design using square cards and larger images to make it more information and links are included. All right, put it back to work and let's see if it does a better job. So if you want to know how well it is, I'm afraid the only thing you're going to be able to do is check the sources that it used. Now the sources are all in a list actually here. So it's not that hard to do. Let's see, it looked at a TripAdvisor review. And this TripAdvisor review is from, should there be a date on this somewhere? Oh, this is not an individual review. This is just a listing. So the information for this particular restaurant is as current as this TripAdvisor listing. And I don't know how accurate that is because, it's just getting the data from somewhere else. But if you want to know, you're going to have to check, unfortunately. There are ways, if you know a curated data source that you trust, such as TripAdvisor, you can tell it, only do your research on TripAdvisor because I trust it. Only do your research using Google Maps. And you can try to make it do that, but it's kind of, AI is a tool. It's about how you use it. It's not, does AI have up-to-date information or out-of-date information? It can have both. It can have whatever information that you get it to find. So, and this is why,
Okay.
I
next
really
question
enjoy
is-
teaching people how to use it. Sorry, go ahead.
The next question is how to humanize AI responses.
Well, it's just the way you prompt the AI. So different people, that's a very taste-focused question. If you don't like the way AI speaks, you would want to start experimenting with a template, a custom GPT or a Gemini Gem or a Perplexity Space, where you start giving it custom instructions about how it's supposed to respond. Like I have one of these that's an AI copywriter for our company, and I gave it this whole copywriting book. It's one of my favorite books about how to do good copywriting. I just uploaded that 80-page PDF and I said, here's your instructions. This is how you write. And it's now just this amazing sales copywriter because it's got all of this instructions on how to do sales writing. Okay. So if you want it to write in a certain way, you have to give it instructions, and they're probably going to be detailed. So when we're trying to use AI and get it to do something, the best way to do that is create a template, a gem, a custom GPT, where you give it instructions that it always has, that it uses for output, right? And then you use it. Maybe you don't get it right at first, but if it's not good, then you go back and you adjust the instructions and keep that template and keep using it and keep refining it. And over time, it'll get better and better until you get it the way you want it. So not the easy answer, I think, that you probably had, like tell the AI to speak like a human, but it's really the answer. It's learning how to make it speak that way and creating a process, like a tool that helps you to do it, that you can improve over time. That's how you would do it. Okay.
Right.
Hi, Matt.
So
Oh,
the
yes, go
next
ahead, Vinny.
question is, if AI can work out and suggest the most suitable proposal, then will they still be connecting with travel agents, travel agencies? Will they still have relevancy?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes, no, of course. I don't see this actually. Look, the internet did not, like when we got OTAs, online booking, we had Google search, we had Google Maps. those didn't kill travel agencies. AI is not, AI is going to make it like marginally easier for people to plan their own trip. But it does, that's not going to take away what people come to travel agents for. Like this is something we have seen time and time again with technology. Just because people can do something themselves, it doesn't mean they want to do something themselves, right? I know how to change the oil in my car. I know how to
So,
change a
so,
flat
so
tire.
if
I take my car to the mechanic because I don't want to do it, man. I want to give it to an expert because I worked all day and I'm tired now. Like it's just the way we do it.
also, Matt, you just said that AI is like an intern and somebody has to
Yes.
supervise the intern. So the travel agent has the expertise. So whilst you can get information from the intern, the expertise is with the travel agent or tour operator, and your relevance does not diminish because somebody has base level information or some direction as to what his options are. He may test you on those options, but if you have the expertise to respond to that, then you won't lose the client, at least not in my opinion. The next question is training on these AI tools. How much time is required? What would be the ballpark cost?
Okay. Um, so I was thinking about this the other day. I'd actually be very interested to hear all of your feedback about it because I have ideas about how to like we really like working with SMBs, right? And I've been thinking about like how to structure a course that is going to be the most effective that not only teaches people just how to use the tool, but how to sort of set up the internal structure for the adoption of AI that I spoke about, which only the first step is getting the tools and learning the tools. But there's a minimal amount of effort that's required to make sure that that's done in the most beneficial way that helps you lead down the road to automation later, right? So I've thought about this. I think like a lot of the training things that I've done, if somebody wants to just learn how to use LLMs well, we can do that in 3 days, right? No problem. In person, the cost for that is going to be somewhere around $4,000 or $5,000 plus travel to do it in person. I'm working on some online courses, which again, be interested to see if people are interested in learning this stuff online rather than in person. Or if you guys are ever looking for like want to put together a seminar for a community, that's how it's usually done. Um, but yeah, like learning to get like going from zero to very competent in these tools. Yeah, I mean, like 3 days is a very good start. It really, if people are able to use their computers well, which they're not always. Some people don't even come to my seminars with computers; they come with a phone. It is variable depending on whether or not how fast the person is able to learn by how fast they're able to like use the technology and practice with it in those 3 days. Yeah, 3 days is good for learning just basic, what are the best tools? What do I use this tool for? What's that tool for? Like, how do I do these different things and what can I do with these things? A few days will do it. I'd say if you wanted to set up that business process, that's like, we want the business to adopt AI in a full and holistic way. That would probably be another 2 days of like consulting on either end of that, 3 days of training. So say 1 week. 1 week, you'd go from zero to, all right, we're on the road to adopting AI as an organization. I hope does that answer the question? About a week, and I guess a week would be about somewhere from $5, $6, $8,000. I guess it depends on like how much paperwork goes into it and the kind of reports that go into it, that sort of thing.
Okay. How do you compare the paid version of Perplexity to Chat GTP for a travel company to use in office?
Oh, okay, great. So I'm just looking for where these questions are. Perplexity versus, oh well. Okay, I love Perplexity. I think you're asking because you saw online that there's places where you can buy you can buy a pro one with a coupon for like $20 a year. fantastic deal. I have it. I buy it from like my virtual assistants. It's great. It so your use case depends. If you're a light user and you're not doing a ton, Perplexity for $20 a year, if you get that deal, great. You get access to all the different models. You can make your templates in what are called Perplexity spaces. You can use deep research. It's fantastic, right? The place where Perplexity is very limited compared to, and like for search, if you want to use a Google replacement, Perplexity search, free version, paid version, both of them. Really good. Just make sure you check the sources when the information is like mission critical, right? I don't really use Google very little now. I use Perplexity search like almost all the time. But when you're using a model, there's a thing called the context window. Now, the context window is how much information can this model remember while it's doing a task, right? If you do a search with Perplexity and it reads 10 pages on the internet, that's not using too much memory, right? But when I load an 80-page copywriting document into ChatGPT and I say, this is your instructions, that's a lot more information it has to keep in its working memory to do a task. And as your conversation goes on and it gives you an answer, like it's going to remember that whole answer. And slowly its memory fills up until it's not working very well because its memory is too full and then performance declines. Now, if you use ChatGPT, you're going to get a much bigger context window than you're going to get with Perplexity. Perplexity limits that because it's a large cost to them, and most people who use it for searches don't need it, right? But if you're going to have like a long conversation where you're trying to get the AI to like edit a 200-page document and then write it back out for you, you need to use it on ChatGPT, or you need to use Gemini where it has more memory, right? The big limit with Perplexity is the memory. You can't have super long conversations with it. It's going to start forgetting stuff. But if you're going in to do a task, give it 1, 2, 3 prompts and get something out of it, Perplexity is great. That's the big difference between Perplexity and like ChatGPT. Because like Perplexity will give you the ChatGPT model. It's coming from ChatGPT. It's just for Perplexity's cost reasons, they limit that memory. So that's the main difference.
What are some of the most effective AI tools or platforms currently used in the travel industry?
Oh boy. Oh, you know what? I'm going to share this with you. Now, I have a document that I like just a document I'm going to share with Raneep, who can share it with you guys after. Or actually, I'll just put a link in the chat right now for you. Where is the document? Okay, so I use this to plan the talk, do my notes. So this has like all of the sources from everything. It's got the outline that I got out of AI, which includes all of the sources and stuff. But I put in this document AI tools. This is from my book. This is a list of every tool in my book that we recommend. I'm going to go through it real fast. Language models. Like I said before, the best language model is the one that you have good access to. Perplexity is great. If you're on a budget, go get Perplexity. If you want to find online where people sell these coupons, like they get discount coupons for being a student or something, they sell them online for $20 and you can get it for a year. Okay. These tools all have the same deep research, but whichever one you get a subscription to is the best one to choose. Now, you've got your image generators, okay? Each of these will have an image generator. For our purposes, we're probably not making a ton of images for our work because, you know, people don't really want AI images for travel. They want real ones. But there's many that are very good. They're also good for doing other things. They're good for like making an ad, like a Google ad that you would put as a display ad. You can make those. You can make social media content and profiles. There's a whole list of the options here, okay? And There's some that are sort of specialized. You can make logos if you got a new business. There's a specialized logo maker that's actually really fantastic. If you want to make video, in the book, the book's not quite ready. We compare all of the video makers and the cost that it would cost you to make it, say, a 30-second ad. So we compare not necessarily like their quality, but their cost. If you wanted to say, I need to generate 5 minutes of video that I will edit down into a 30-second ad, we compare the cost of them. But by far the best one is Google's Google VO. Like far and away, Google VO is the best. It has sound. It's available to a limited degree. If you have any Google Workspace account, you have access to VO3, which is amazing. It's limited, but it's amazing. Okay. Kling's also really cool though. Kling is doing good stuff and it's a very affordable model. Pika's just, it's different. It's kind of neat. I'd say like Kling and Google VO are the ones I would probably go to first. If you want a video that's like an AI avatar, if you wanted to make like a talking head video of yourself or make a fake Zoom call, like have you sing on a Zoom call, they're actually surprisingly affordable. They can clone your voice, they can clone your face. HeyGen does it, and Synthesia does it. I've made a few of these for clients, like when we make a chatbot for them, we make a persona for the chatbot and do a little introductory video for the people who are using it. What else is really good? The transcribers like you have in Zoom are fantastic. All of them are very good. Again, the one you have a subscription and access to is the best one. They're all high quality. Last, the tools that are specialized. Gamma AI, that is what I use to make my slide deck. So when I made my slides for this presentation, which I think turned out pretty nice, I made a presentation outline. And I put the outline, it was just like slide, point, 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 slide, point, 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 slide name, point, 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 25 slides, put it into Gamma AI and say generate. And it just generated all those slides that you saw, these really nice slides. This is a fantastic tool. You want to make a slide deck that's like an itinerary, use this tool. Like it's fantastic. And you know, it's $20 a month maybe, but if you're going to go make 100 itineraries with it, like the quality is surprising, right? It'll put in AI images. You might want to swap them out for real ones, but it's really surprisingly good. And then we've got a couple like an agent, the podcast creator. One last tool of all the tools that I really like if you have a bunch of information, right? And you want to pull out insights, or like say you have a whole bunch of information about a itinerary, a whole list of here's a whole bunch of activities in this place, right? You can put them all into what's called Notebook LM, okay? So when I did this, when I made this presentation, I did deep research and I got, how many sources are there? Look at all these sources. I got a couple hundred sources out of that deep research. I just put all of the sources into Notebook LM. This is a research tool. So you can tell it only read these sources. I dumped all the sources into it and I asked it, hey, make me an outline for a 25-slide presentation, right? I looked at the outline, I edited it, I saw like, this is a good idea. I took out stuff that I didn't like, I changed some of it, and then I put it into Gamma AI and I said, hey, make my slides. This tool can pull out, so if you were to put in, hey, here's TripAdvisor for this location, here's the website that has like the wiki travel, here's the Expedia page, here's all these pages, right? It will only look at those pages. This, Sanjeet, this is a special AI that is tuned to be like the least hallucinations that is absolutely possible. It really only sticks to the facts as much as possible. So when you want good information, put a bunch of sources in here.
All right. So the
You can
next
pull out the info.
one is
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for sharing your insights. Do you have any basic program prepared for travel fraternity to understand prompts and techniques better and practice in day-to-day working to get familiar? I think, Rajesh, Matt answered this question. I think it was a question which Darshana Tonk from Jamshedpur posed to him about
The
whether
book
there
will
are some
explain this
training
stuff. If
programs
you're
he's working.
if you want the material, this sort of thing to help you learn how to do prompting, the book has a full section on prompting and gives you all of like the basic best practices. So I would just recommend signing up for the book and you'll have that stuff.
Great. All right. And I think we have a question. A question from Rajiv Sabarwal says, how effective will AI be for travel industry in future, and whether there will be a danger of manpower being replaced by AI as itineraries and information gathering in destinations, etc., will be done in minutes and much faster at a much lower cost? I think we answered that question a little while ago, but maybe you want to give it another shot.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way to look at this is that, I mean, and this is just opinions. Nobody knows the future, but in a lot of cases, like when the internet came out, right? We thought that, say, demand for certain services would go down because now you can get those services through the internet. They're much more easily available. But what actually happened in cases like that was the demand for those services went up because now they were just so easy to get, right? So the services got easier to provide. But the thing that happened was not everyone lost their job because now I can deliver this service faster, so they don't need me to spend my time working on it. The cost of the service dropped and demand went sky high. Like pre-internet, everyone called a travel agent for an itinerary. The travel agent typed it out by hand. It took half a day, right? Now they can go on Expedia and get an itinerary, in a second. But whereas pre-internet, the demand for itineraries was very low because they were very hard to get, they were expensive. As they got easier, the demand just kept increasing. So I'm sure there will be some effect on people's jobs. Some jobs might be lost, but I think that as these things get easier, the price just goes down and the demand goes up and we produce more of them, right? So it'll affect employment, but it's not like nobody's going to have a job doing it anymore. And sometimes, I think especially with travel agents, we've already seen this, like surviving the OTA, the age of OTAs. Sometimes people just want to talk to a human about it. They just want to talk to somebody who they trust to do that job because they want to know it's taken care of by a person that they trust. That's never going away. Like it's just not, right? Sometimes it's not about just getting the output for the money. Sometimes it's just about that experience of having somebody you like and trust to do the thing for you.
Thank you, Matt. Great engagement, and I think we've really run you over on time. We're running into almost 2 hours for this session. On my part, on part of PATA India, thank you. But I think we have a PATA executive board member amidst us, Sanjeet, and I'd like for him to really say it in better words than I can. Thank you.
No, nothing of that kind. But Matt, thank you very much. It was really insightful and engaging. I think you just kept everybody engaged very, very well. And what I really want to say is that I think you simplified. What do I say? This is a complex connection of AI to the real world. I think you were able to do that very, very well. So that's something was very, very truly impressive. I think that's something got everybody thinking. That's why you had question answers and all that. And I'm sure with this is going to inspire all of us to, I think, explore the world of AI much, much more. There's no two ways about it, because I think that's the way the future will be. Sooner or later, even those people who are a little afraid will get into it and say, okay, let's do that. But thank you so much. It's been wonderful hearing you and getting your insights into it and the knowledge. And I love that Gamma AI, which you talked about. I think I'm going to use that. That's something which was very nice. But thank you in all, and it was really great insight into learning from you and hearing from you. And let's keep this going. Maybe sometimes in the future, not after a year, maybe a little earlier. So that's what I would like to say. But thanks a lot, and it was great having you here. Namaste from India.
Great. Thank you very much, Sanjeet. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone for coming. The engagement was fantastic. I love it when it's like this. So hope we can do it again sometime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. All
Good
right.
day, everybody.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.